Dr. Nilesh Gandhi, a renowned architect and sustainability expert with over 2 decades of experience. He began his career at Shapoorji Pallonji, followed by a role as project manager at Edifice Architects Private Limited, handling major architectural and interior design projects. Since 2004, he has been the director of Metadesign Architects, leading innovative and sustainable design initiatives. Dr. Gandhi is a member of several prestigious organizations, including the Council of Architecture, the Institute of Indian Interior Designers, the US Green Building Council, the Practising Valuers Association India, and the Indian Institute of Architects, reflecting his significant contribution and leadership in the field of architecture and sustainable design. Nilesh will speak about building envelopes for energy efficiency and sustainability. So let's welcome Nilesh.
Thank you, Akaksha. Thank you, Vinisha. I later, I kind of noted your backdrop that you have put in is quite apt for the session. The shades of green that you have. So, looking at that. So, thank you for the generous introduction. I should make it shorter next time, or you should be a bit crisper. But nevertheless, with stalwarts like Shabir and Anshul already taken stage, the benchmark has been set very high. But I would just want to, excellent work, Shabir. GNFC's superb work, and I think the platform is doing kudos. And it is time that most of the buildings kind of shift to the net zero concept. Just to tell our audience, or just to give them a so-called, just to fear them all of you, we all know why do we need to do this, and suppose what all we are talking of is how we should go about doing it. But if we all are very much convinced about the concept as the reason why we need to do this, it will become very easy for us to adapt solutions that we all are providing here. We all know that as we started speaking, we all know the resources are limited. And as we keep on quadrupling our population and we keep on extracting the same resources, there will be a point of no return. And we will kind of reach a point where we will be risking our lives and risking our lives on this planet Earth. And you have seen that everyone, all those, the millennials and the zillennials of the world, the last 2 decades, if you have observed very minutely, you would have seen the tsunamis and the earthquakes having taken a kind of a spike in the last 2 decades or so. The industrialization has taken its toll, and we are seeing those after effects now. So with that in hindsight, that is what is history. And history does not repeat itself, but history rhythms. You will not see that replicate happen again and again in the same frequency, but that is a guideline that it provides us. So what is in it for us? You as the audience, each one of you in the position that you are, is there something that you can do? And I understand that we have an excellent panel, and the stakeholders who are all here have some kind of a contribution to the real estate industry. You may be an architect, a designer, you could even be a fashion designer, but there is something from your morning waking up till you sleep, that action of yours which is more sustainable than an alternative. Which brings me to which I cite a story of the starfish, wherein a small boy was kind of playing along the beach and throwing starfish in the sea. And an old man passes and asks him, "What are you doing?" To which he says that I'm saving the starfishes along the beach. And to which he laughs and says that, lad, there are millions of starfishes along the shore. How do you even think that you will be able to save them? To which he just smiles, picks up another starfish, throws it into the sea, and says that I don't know about the millions, but I just saved this one. So it is not about how much you do. It is about that small element that you do, and that when that integrates, when that quadrupulates into a when the derivatives and when it escalates, then it is that movement. So as the father of our nation said, be the change that you would want to see in the world. So we all want a sustainable earth. We all want sustainability. So minorest of the action is what is required to be called for. And if we don't do that, we will see Cape Town, which will come to a zero water day. We will be seeing Mauritius, which conducted a conference below the water because of foreseeing that they will be submerged in water in the next 10-15 years. So that is what we have been seeing near and far, and it is very much likely that in our lifetime we will be seeing these drastic effects of climate change happening in very much near to us, and there is a solution. So now this is the solution that needs to be embraced and adapted in totality, wherein every structure or every act that you do. One day I was somewhere and someone asked me a question about define sustainability to you. And I was kind of quite bored with giving all those stereotype answers of sustainability. And it so also happened that I had a handkerchief in my pocket. So I just pulled it out like I have now, and I said that this is sustainability for me. We go to a washroom, we go to a five-star toilet, pick up as many tissue papers as we want because they are free, and we have lovely Shabir. And we have kind of since hygiene started playing a role, and we as kids we always used to have a handkerchief, but somewhere down the line that lost because of having tissue papers, and the culture of kind of easy replacement came in. And typically because those are free, you go to airport, go to a hotel, you can suffice with one, but you at least pull up two or three. So I told him this is sustainability for me. It is hygienic. It is my handkerchief. I use it the way I want. I refrain from pulling towels from the washroom whenever I am there. So that is so saying that sustainability is not a jargon. It is not something very difficult. Right from the way you wake up till you sleep, there are ways and means where you could taking, for example, just taking a lift 4 floors down, just multiply it by the number of visits you would take in a year, you would at least save tons of carbon. You would at least save, if not tons, but substantial amounts of electricity, which will eventually contribute to the safeguarding of the environment. And just to tell everyone about net zero, as Shabir is actively practicing in that, it is again not a rocket science again. It is just about you not taking anything from the external environment. You don't take water, you don't take electricity, but you live. There are bungalows, factories, buildings in the European countries which are net generators of electricity. So for example, I have a bungalow, I have a farm villa, and I am not consuming electricity, but I am generating. I am feeding it to the grid. Just that's plain simple is net zero. I just take in water, which is all that I need to drink. Rest all water is recirculated, recycled, treated to the way we want. So enough has been said and done, and we have enough panelists who will help you into doing it. And as we said, there are rating systems to go about helping you do that. But we need to be aware, and we need to, as we say that, it is very easy to say that I have. If you just look around wherever you're sitting now, if you look at a tree, did the person who planted the tree ever think that I would be sitting in the shade of this tree 25 years now? Hence, now would you want to be grateful for that person who had planted that tree? So if you would want to be grateful for the person who planted this tree 25, 30 years back, the shade and the fruit of which you bear now, would you want to do something that your future generations are grateful to you? And if that is the case, what are you doing now? So if you ask those questions to yourself, and then we will come to the conclusion that what I have got from my ancestors is not what I own. It is not what I've got in my inheritance, but it is like a loan which I've taken from my children. The tree that in the shade of the tree that you sit in is not your right. It is your duty to plant a tree for your child. So if these thoughts creep in and we nip this in the bud, and we have the younger generation and we all as stakeholders very actively doing these things, we will eventually come up to a very livable environment. Our quotient of life, it burns me and it saddens me when I read that the children in Delhi have to take masks and oxygen cylinders along with their water bottles and their tiffins. Is that the quality of life that we are putting to? The fundamental right of breathing, the fundamental right of existence is at stake. just because of not because of the pollution and because of all the industrial development that we are catering to. So that's a very sad state of affairs, but the solutions are in our hand. And if we all do that and we all constructively be aware of taking one step at a time, whichever step it be, then I'm sure we will turn the tide. And talking about envelopes, I have enough said earlier, Vinisha. So I have said about envelopes, and it's a very technical aspect. And it's, as I said, it's very easy to kind of design buildings in a more human manner, and they will tune biophilia and nature. Imbibing nature is something which is need of the hour, and we are seeing that happen. We just need to kind of push the pedal and go into a cruise mode rather than into a very snail's mode. If you have any questions, I would be happy to take.
Thank you, Nilesh, for sharing that exciting submission on building envelopes for energy efficiency and sustainability.